Let me know when you're ready, Heather.
Yep.
Yep, you'll let me know, or yep, you're ready?
Oh, yep, nope, I'm all set.
Okay. Yep. There you go. Okay, good, thank you. Call the meeting to order, please. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Pittsfield Town Council here on Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. I'd like to open the meeting by inviting everyone to stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. If I may ask you for a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you, folks. So let's move on to number 2, the adoption of the minutes of the regular meeting we held on August 1st, 2023. I will look for a motion from the council, please.
I move we accept the minutes of the regular meeting of August 1st, 2023.
Second. Moving in second. And any questions or comments, council? Very well. Hearing none, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of the adoption of the minutes of the regular meeting held on August 1st, 2023, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. The minutes of the regular meeting on August 1st, 2023 pass. Move on to number 3, presentations, congratulations, and introductions. Catherine, if you would, please.
Yes, in reference to economic and community development projects, we have filed several grant reports regarding the different projects that we have, several grants of which pertain to Main Street. And so all of those reports have been filed. The Pittsfield Economic Expansion Corporation will be meeting on Thursday of this week, the 17th at 4:00 p.m. to go over the updated economic development plan, as well as talk about our strategy and going forward to update the website, as well as other projects. Thank you.
All set? All right, thank you, Catherine. Number 4, public hearings. There are none, so we will move on to number 5, reports. Council committees, Finance Committee.
We're planning to meet on August 29th
August
at
29th.
6:30.
Okay.
And
6:30.
yep,
All right, very well. Anything else?
no.
All right, Ordinance Committee. I'll take that as a no. Catherine, let's move on to B, the board committee update for town council manager, please.
Yes, the planning board met last evening at 7:00 p.m. and had a very good meeting with several discussion items regarding solar projects, with the reapproval of the Snake Root Road solar project for another year for an extension, all based upon the CMP reviews that need to take place. And those are moving along. They believe that they'll have approval later this summer, as has the other solar projects that have been renewed by the town. That was a conditional use permit and a site plan review permit. We then discussed potential subdivision out of the Route 2 by the Cooler Road. So that would be 6 lots, so it's a major subdivision. Mr. Ames, Tim Ames is working on that project, gave us a sketch plan. So that was very good. Those would be affordable, or as affordable as housing is now. We also discussed potential rezoning projects and how the people that want items rezoned need to work on the projects too, not just the planning board and the staff, as well as some potential funding that's available to the town for a new law that's just gone into effect called LD 2003 to increase the density for housing, which is basically to allow more infill on lots. It's got several components to it. The town can apply for a $10,000 grant. Each town is eligible for that if they have zoning, if they have growth centers or water, sewer in the community. So we're eligible for $10,000. Towns that are more rural are available for $5,000 to get planning assistance. And we're also involved with the Kennebec Valley Council of Governments grant application that's going in that will allow us to get some help with looking at our infrastructure, looking at where housing should go in town. So this would be very exciting and a great opportunity for the town. And the planning board will have its regular meeting on the second Monday of September at 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you.
All right, Catherine, thank you very much. Is that through the peak? You want to do the town manager report now?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
All right, we'll be quick. I've been very brief compared to my former reports here. So basically, the department reports for the month of July, because the packet was getting larger, and councils wanted to keep this meeting brief so they could work on some other items. I did put those in, but anyone that hasn't submitted their report will have it into me by the department head supervisor meeting that's taking place on Thursday, and the deputy mayor was invited to the meeting. Our next council meeting will have a number of items, but one of the tax acquired properties that was foreclosed a few months ago has been paid up to date, and so we will have a current tax bill on that and advertising costs, and once that's paid, we'll schedule that. This is land only out on the Powers Road. People have the right for a first redemption if they pay everything off. We can deed it back to them with the understanding that we're not going to do this again in a few years. They need to keep the taxes up to date. So that's a good thing, definitely. The airport hangar and taxiway project, Coyle Tanner issued the punch list for the project. It is a long punch list, but a very thorough one. There will be an inspection at the end of August this month. Anyone would like a copy of the punch list, let me know and I will forward it to you. General assistance cases continue. Number of evictions, people that are homeless, other types of assistance are requested too. There's a lot of information that goes into these, as well as a lot of checking and forms for people to fill out in order to get general assistance. The tax liens for the 2022 unpaid taxes will be going on this week. Unfortunately, we were able to almost reduce the amount of taxes that were unpaid once we sent out the 30-day notices and had been making phone calls to people prior to that. So we've at least reduced the amount. I wish it was less, but it's pretty much the same as in past years. We applied for some unclaimed property because town of Pittsfield is listed in the state report. And we have 3 little checks that will evidently be coming. The addresses were Park Street and not a full address, so the monies basically went back to the companies and we never saw it. Minor items, it looks like personal property tax to me. We'll see what happens when we get that. For code enforcement, Mr. Tempester believes he can work some extra hours this week, which would, and the following 2 weeks after that. So 2 times a month he would be able to work extra hours, which would be great. He has followed up on the Somerset Avenue property, the Washington Street property, and the Webb Road property. For the Webb Road property, you will be receiving a consent agreement regarding what's going on out there. The court proceeding went very well. It's just the first one. The town attorney met with the property owner and explained this all out, and I have some costs that are figured out if we actually have a court case versus if we're able to do the consent agreement. So we would definitely save a lot of money if that will actually work. We also have 2 other complaints in town. One is a property where the people started rehabilitating it and then tore it down and left a pile of debris there. So I wrote a letter for Mr. Tempester to take care of that one this week, as well as the bizarre shed that's been built on Main Street. A property owner sold their property very recently, and the people that moved in built a shed that is undesirable for any area. And so after going out to the site 5 times, the CEO has made contact with the one of the spouses, and the other spouse will be coming in to get a building permit and to receive instruction on what is permittable in the town of Pittsfield and not. And records retention and disposition, that we got all the boxes out of here as well as several areas upstairs, but this is just the beginning of the project. We have to talk to 5 other projects, and the fact that there's only so much lifting we can do. And then I talked a little bit about LD 2003. You'll be receiving more information on that. That talks about the dwelling areas and how more houses could be put, or more units could be put on lot with certain setbacks, of course. Thank you.
All right, all set with that?
Yes, thank you so
All right,
much.
Catherine, thank you very much. So number 6, old business, there is none this evening. We shall move along to number 7, new business. So let's start with resolution 23-69, please, Catherine.
Resolution 23-69, resolve that the town council approve the request for proposals to purchase sand for the 2023-2024 winter season and authorize the town manager and public works director to seek bids for same.
I'll look for a motion from council, please.
I move we adopt resolution 23-69.
Second.
Moved and seconded, thank you very much. Questions or comments from the audience? For the record.
For the record.
Your name and...
Rice,
where you work.
127 School Street.
Thank you.
Donnie, I just had a question. Can you tell us what you used for last year for the same?
We use roughly about 2,600 cubic yards.
How much do you have sitting in that pile now?
About 1,500 maybe or so.
So you look for another 5.
Don't set me up for failure, man.
I didn't do that on purpose.
No, same as last year. I'd like to see us get between 1,500 and 2,000 yards. Be ahead of the game. If we have a bad winter, we won't be running out in February, March and trying to dig sand out of somewhere in clumps. And it will save us down the road if we have a crunch.
Yeah.
I think the pricing is going to be right around the same. So,
Okay. Yeah, and this is, the resolution is to request bids. And anyone else in the audience? All right, I will close the public input. Council. Questions or comments?
Donnie, can you repeat that? You said you have 2,600 yards?
we use
You
2,600.
use 2,600 yards.
Yep.
And you have how many?
We have about 1,550 sitting there right now. On a bad one, we can use between 2,500 and 3,500 depending on the winter. So again, we do have some that's, I still got a little stockpile there of unsalted stuff, so
So you need at least 1,000.
I would do at least 1,000, 1,500 if not a little more. But again, we can gauge that where the budgetary is.
So, have you looked at what your budget is for this year? Is that going to impact your budget significantly? I mean, is it still, if you find a reasonable bid, say for 1,000 yards, I mean, you have an idea what it's going to be. Right. Is that within your budget for the year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes, Doc, please.
Donnie, you mentioned that you've been happy with the sand you've run the past 4 years. Has it been from the same pit?
Fortunately, we have got it from the same contractor. It's been Snowman's Construction. They've got a pit over in Emden, Maine, that meets all state requirements and all of our requirements set forth for testing, so for the fines and everything. And right now, they've got about 6 to 7, maybe 8 years left of that supply over there. Other pits are going from pit to pit, so every year you don't know what you're going to get if it's even going to meet our specifications. So hopefully the pricing, from what I heard from the state, will be the same. So I think we'll be a competitive bid again, and we'll make sure that it meets our specifications for what we need for sand.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Anything else, Council?
You, a while back, you mentioned going to something different other than sand, so the cleanup wasn't so bad.
We've talked
Is
about
that,
Well, we've talked about it in the past, and there's some, I think, with budgetary constraints this year and stuff going on, that at some point, yeah, we've talked about going salt priority in town, which obviously salt's a little bit more expensive, but 3 months of sweeping and cleaning out catch basins and stuff, 3 or 4 months worth of work and contractual stuff, it almost would equal out to less work if we went salt priority down the road. It may be going that way if we can't find sand that meets specifications. So
not really an option this year?
I hate the thought of it because of I see what it does to the vehicles. But
Okay.
So how do you make sure their material meets the specs? I mean, do it to pass a sieve analysis? Or?
so yeah, they do a sieve analysis to make sure that we haven't got too much fines. I don't know if you've noticed the past 4 years since we've put out that specification, but some of the stuff, depending, one of the things that always used to happen is we go by price. I can remember back when John Dixon was here, we used to get it for $1 yard. Everybody thought it was great. We trucked it. We spent too much trucking it back and forth fuel. We had to screen it ourselves, and it had a lot of bigger material in it. We had a lot of people, cracking windshields, and they said we were pouring gravel and rocks on the road. So again, to have a happy medium, you need to have some fines, but you also need to have some grip to be able to get traction on the road. So, and it's right from with the state of Maine and the county, Somerset County and Franklin County done in the past. So it's got to meet that analysis to
Looks like a concrete sand spec, really. Same thing.
kind of almost, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Close.
pretty- same thing.
Yeah, close.
Anything else, Council? Very well. Hearing none, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of Resolution 23-69, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-69 passes. Thank you for the info, Donnie. Captain, let's move on to Resolution 23-70, please.
Resolution 23-70, resolved that the town council waive the regulation of bids, Chapter 2, Administrative Code, Section 106, and authorize the town manager to execute a 1-year contract for snow plowing with S&G Construction at a rate of $4,150 per mile for a total of $106,115.50 with 25.57 miles for 2023-2024, with such mileage to be adjusted if the town adds road mileage during the term of the contract or deletes routes during the term of the contract.
Look for a motion from council, please.
Move we adopt Resolution 23-70.
A second, moved and seconded. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments from anyone in the audience this evening? Very well, I will close the public input. Council, any questions or comments on this? Yes, Doc.
How many routes is that 25 miles, Diane?
We have 5 plow routes, so this year we are taking an extra plow route, which would be the south west of West Pittsfield, State Route, that side. So that is in town, that's District 2, and Phillips Corner Road to the north in West Pittsfield. So we're doing half of District 4 and all of District 2.
Okay, thank you.
How is this in comparison to last year's? Do you have the numbers for last year's?
25% higher.
Well, if you look at it, we're paying almost as much for 2 routes as we did for 3 last year, which the state average is about 4,500 a mile. So Stanley has treated us real well over the past years, and I suspected that he didn't want to do it this year. Obviously, he wanted to, and we're in no way prepared for that.
We had to talk him into it.
So I begged, I pleaded. Carol was going to retire, and when he said Carol was done, he was done. So I begged and kicked and screamed and moaned and had a temper tantrum and said, could you please do a couple routes for us and pick up an extra one? So this is his last bid. This is his last.
All right, so if this passes with us, we have about a year to start looking.
Yeah.
And it probably won't be hurting to start soon.
real soon, because we're still down a single axle for in town for plow trucks. So yeah, we've got people capable of doing it. We just need to be stacking some equipment to be able to do it. So
Understood.
sooner than later.
So I guess what I hear is when things are approved in December, we shouldn't wait until July to start thinking about it.
Hopefully we'll have something in the middle of January for the first meeting in February.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Anything else, council? Very well. Hearing none, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-70, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-70 passes. Catherine, let's move on to resolution 2371, please.
Resolution 23-71, resolved that the town council authorize the town manager to execute a second easement for Central Maine Power Company for the line extension at the Pittsfield Municipal Airport for the new town hangar.
I'll look for a motion from the council, please.
Move we adopt resolution 23-71.
Second. Moved and seconded. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments from anyone in the audience this evening? Easy vote. Very well. I'll close public input. Council, any questions or comments on resolution 2371? I believe that's in relation to the last one we had talked about.
That is correct. It falls within the limits of the last easement, except there's two small areas, several feet long on both sides.
Anything, council? Very well. Hearing none, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-71, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-71 passes. Catherine, let's move on to resolution 2372, please.
Resolution 23-72, resolved that the town council authorize the town manager to accept the Federal Aviation Administration FAA airport grant from the Airport Improvement Program AIP Bipartisan Infrastructure Law Funding BIL/AIG for 3-23-0036-24-2023 for runway, airfield, live crack seal, and pavement markings for the Pittsfield Municipal Airport in the amount of $127,625 with a 5% match by the town of $7,091 and a 5% match by the state of $7,090 for a total project of $141,806 to sign any necessary paperwork and to expend and transfer the funds.
All right, I will look for a motion from the council, please.
Move we adopt resolution 23-72.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments from the audience this evening? All right, it gets better and better. I will close the public input. Council, any questions or comments on this?
Catherine, we already had monies in the budget for some crack sealing this year, didn't we?
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
We had monies in the budget this year for some crack sealing already, so is that equal to our match that's required here?
So in the reserve account, we have sufficient funding to take care of our match. We saved it over the years, so we didn't have to budget any more capital monies in the 2023 budget.
And is there going to be some left over after we expend the match part of this?
Yes, in the reserve account, yes, definitely.
Any idea how much that'd be? Approximately hundreds, thousands, millions?
We were fortunate, some things happened during the airport grant that of course made it difficult, but our match was supposed to be 5% for one of the largest projects we've ever had, and our match was 0. So we have over $100,000 available.
Nice. Excellent.
We're very, very fortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've raised that over a number of years to be the match for this project, and then due to COVID, we ended up with 0 match.
And is there, going to be some left over after we expend the match part of this?
Yes, in the reserve account,
Can I ask one more question?
Please, yeah,
A
go
little
right ahead.
tiny bit tangential.
Yeah.
To do this project, we borrowed money, I believe, was it from Rangeley Airport? Out of their like
Right.
annual stipend or whatever that they get. Have we paid that back already?
We would pay that back over 2 years, so next year, or the end of this year into next year, because the state has a split year and we have a calendar year. We would make our first payment from the AIT funds that we get for the airport.
So we take our allocation and we just give it to them for the
Yes.
next 2 years
Yes.
because our project is done. Okay.
Good point, I forgot all about that. Anything else, council? Very well. Hearing none, I sense we're ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-72, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-72 passes. Catherine, let's move on to resolution 23-73, please.
Resolution 23-73, resolved that the town council set the rate of interest to be charged on delinquent taxes for 2023 at 8% and the due date for payment of taxes at the end of the business day on Friday, October 20th, 2023.
Look for a motion to the council, please.
Move we accept resolution 23-73.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments from the audience this evening? Very well, I'll close the public input. Council, any questions or comments on this? Very well. Here and now, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-73, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-73 passes. Let's move along to resolution 23-74, please, Catherine.
Resolution 23-74, resolved that the town council set the rate of interest for overpayments for 2023 at 4% to conform with 36 MRSA, section 506-A.
Look for motion by the council, please.
Move we adopt resolution 23-74.
I'm trying to subvert the whole system. Second. Move to second. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments from the audience? Very well. I'll close the public input. Council, any questions or comments? I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is too easy. All right, very well. Here and now, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-74, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-74 passes. Let's move on to resolution 23-75, please, Catherine.
Resolution 23-75, resolved that the town council authorize the tax collector / treasurer to accept prepayment or decline prepayment of taxes not yet committed or received prior to the due date and pay no interest thereon in accordance with 36 MRSA, section 506.
Look for a motion from the council, please.
Move we adopt resolution 23-75.
Second. Moved and seconded. Thank you, gentlemen. Any input or questions, comments from the audience this evening? Very well. I'll close the public input. Council, questions or comments on resolution 2375?
Only question is, will this have any impact, would accepting payments ahead of time have any impact on the revow?
No, it's just, people are just paying ahead. So if they pay too much, it gets credited to the next year. If they pay less, then when the bill comes out, they'll just make the rest of the payment.
Unless something would be identified between the time that they paid and the time. So like if they're in the first wave of revaluation, they prepay, and then it's deemed that their property taxes are going up, then they would just simply...
Their bill would have on it, as of the date the bills are published, will have what their credit is and then their remainder.
Okay, so if they had a debit balance,
Enhanced, it should work that way.
so we would send them an amended bill for additionals, and there'd be no fight where they said, I paid my taxes based on the value that I was given.
So on the date that the bills are issued, let's say you had paid either through the tax club or just made payments of $500 towards your bill, which went from $800 to $1,000, or went from $1,000 to $800, the bill will say what your credit is, and you'll just be billed for the remainder as of that date. So there's no issue with the taxes went up or down.
That's written in there, so when they do that and they sign for it, it's
They're
done.
fine,
Okay,
yeah.
that's all I was
Yeah,
concerned
that
about.
happens all year long. You're guessing at what the mill rate would be, so people may end up with a credit at the end, or they have to pay a little bit more.
Right, this year it could be a significant amount more if there were improvements done to their house versus just a slight mill rate change. You could see, somebody added a deck, a shed, and,
Yeah,
an in-law suite, and all of a sudden their taxes just go up by 30%. We could see a major pushback to say, wait a minute, I already paid my taxes.
No, it's just a prepayment.
Okay.
We're all set.
That's probably what the guy in Cornfield in in-law suite.
Well, the retail doesn't go into effect, it hasn't even started, so it won't affect this year
Yeah,
anyway.
and when they do, it's going to be like a 4-year process. They're not going to engage new values until absolutely everything's done.
No.
Unless something-
If anything's found,
Yeah.
it changes under the current rate.
Right.
So like, if their current valuation is 100,000 and they're found to be 125, it will move that 25,000 in valuation. Just under the current rate.
Yes,
I just wanted to make sure we weren't setting ourselves up for somebody to say, we're not paying you that extra money.
right. No, and, technically, you don't get your tax bill until your tax bill is issued anyway, so
Right.
if you're paying ahead, you're just kind of like setting yourself up to have to pay in the end of October or whatever, but, your tax bill isn't actually issued until the tax bill is issued, and then, like Catherine said, that's your bill. Whether
Right.
you paid more or less to begin with or not, doesn't matter from the bill balance point.
No, I understand. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All set.
All good?
Anything else, council? That's a very excellent point, though. I hadn't thought about that. I gave you a compliment on camera.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Don't expect a whole lot more tonight.
Channeling my inner Eric, I've only asked one question. Oh, it's on two. Yeah, sorry.
I'm sure.
Started.
Well, we got 4 more to go, so there's hope. Anything else, council? Very well. Hearing none, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of Resolution 23-76, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-76 passes. Catherine, let's move on to Resolution 23-77, please.
That was 75.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do 76. You were just trying to help me by not having to read this.
Okay, my apologies, folks. Can we rewind the tape? All right, Catherine, let's go to Resolution 23-76, please.
Very good.
right.
Resolution 23-76. Resolved that the town council approve the payment of the monthly disbursements in the amount of $300,325.98 for July 2023 and $3,303,585.89 for August 2023 through June 30th, 2024 to SAD 53 for its fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024 for a fiscal year total of $3,603,911.87, which represents the town of Pittsfield's share of SAD 53's local appropriation funds.
Thank you, Catherine. Motion for the council, please.
Move we adopt resolution 23-76.
Second. Moved and seconded. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments from the audience this evening on Resolution 23-76? Very well. I will close the public input. Council, any questions or comments on Resolution 23-76? Very well. Hearing none, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of Resolution 23-76, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-76 passes. Let's move on to 23-77, please, Catherine.
Resolution 23 23-77, resolved that the town council approve the payment of weekly payroll checks in accordance with the following accounts. Personnel services 0105 regular, 0110 overtime, 0115 part-time, and 0140 FICA.
I look for a motion of the council, please.
Move we adopt resolution 23-77.
Second. Moved and seconded. Thank you, gentlemen. Questions or comments from the audience? This is a housekeeping motion. Very well. I'll close the public input. Council, questions or comments?
Anything to do with what's the housekeeping part of it, I guess?
What now?
Is it just so we can make payroll?
It's so that we can pay the payroll each week without the council's signature on payroll warrants, which we haven't utilized for decades.
Okay.
It's a state law that the town council or the legislative body, the board of selectmen, would have to sign off on warrants. That would mean the payroll would have to be done in-house, and it would be a lot more complicated than now.
So this is approval for the year, basically.
This one and the SAD 53 have always been set up on the fiscal year rather than the calendar year. So both of those usually go together, and I put them when I got here with all of the tax payment items, so they were all together.
Anything else, council? Very well. Hearing none, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-77, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-77 passes. Catherine, let's move on to resolution 23-78, please.
Resolution 23-78, resolved that the town council confirm the town manager's appointment for the library director's position pursuant to the personal policy regulations.
Look for a motion of the council, please.
Move we adopt resolution 23-78.
Second. Moving and second. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments from the audience on resolution 23-78? Very well. I will close public input. Council, questions or comments?
I'll make a comment that I was present during the interview process for the three candidates that came for second interviews, and Donna basically was far and above any of the other candidates that had applied, as well as the fact that she provides history of working for the town, as well as which indicates some continuity and interest in continuing service here for the next several years. So I fully support this.
So, Catherine, I don't see a name on here, and so this means that we'll offer the position and make them the library director.
So I had put it in a separate, it was in a separate file in the email because it's technically confidential.
Okay, all right.
At this point, we had 3 rounds. Donna Lambert, our current assistant, had not applied until we went through all of the applications, and luckily she did. She'll do a wonderful job. She decided she did want to be a library director again.
So this approves the
A confirmation of the town manager's
Excellent.
appointment, which was the recommendation of the interviewing committee.
Okay, excellent. Anything further, council? All right, very well. Here none, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-78, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-78 passes. Catherine, let's wrap this up. Resolution 23-79, please.
Resolution 23-79, resolved that the town council approve the special taste testing event license for the Main Cheese Festival on Sunday, September 10th, 2023 at Manson Park, and execute section 2.B of the application.
I'll look for a motion from council, please.
You want to take this, Heather, or I move we adopt resolution 23-79.
Sir. Move to second, Benjamin. Any questions or comments from the audience this evening? Very well, I'll close the public input. Any questions or comments from the council? I just want to say, cheese wheel too would help grease the skid, but I'm just saying.
I can speak to the event if anybody has any questions about the event. We are full steam ahead. We just had a committee meeting today, ironing out some last minute items. Look around town for some of the blue reminder cards. They're at the bank and they're at the town office and the library, I believe. Sign-ups are up for volunteers. If somebody wants to do a volunteer shift, they get a free ticket.
I will say I've had a small handful of people from out of town mention that. So when you guys have the cheese festival? I said sometime in July. No.
They'll be really disappointed.
Nice car. Where's the cheese? Oh, we're late. No, it's really established though as an event, not just like a one-off or two. I've done 8 years now.
This is the seventh
year.
COVID, so we skipped one, but
Seems to get bigger every year too. You have other vendors, other people reach out, say like from Mafka. Any that type of.
We have several vendors that are going to be that are technical service providers. Mafka, Maine Farmland Trust, USDA will be there. I'm not doing that portion of things this year, so I'm trying to think of all the ones that were kind of in our meeting. But we have some technical assistance people. We have some industry people. Last year we had Vermont Labels come. So there's things like that. We have cheese vendors, obviously. I think we're up to 23 cheese vendors and about 35 or 36 other vendors, whether that be bakers, food trucks, you name it.
How about local farms? Specifically the Amish. Have they expressed?
It's on a Sunday, so they would.
Oh, right. Yep. Oh, good point.
Yeah. But Snake Root came last year, and I'm hoping they're coming again this year. I said I'm not doing a vendor sign up this year, so I haven't seen the full list.
Yeah. Excellent. I'll make sure I'll be visiting the.
Or ticket sales.
Ticket sales are strong. I mean, usually it's the last 3 weeks when people are making their plans, and then the last 10 days when that 10-day forecast comes out. That's when people commit to making plans. But we've sold, I think, 150 early bird tickets. In the past couple years, because of COVID, we split the day into 2 3 or 4 hour sessions with a break in between, and you had a ticket for either session. And this year we're offering an early bird ticket for $10 more to get in an extra hour early. And then the noontime to 6 p.m. ticket is just general admission, come and go anytime.
What's the cost of tickets?
It's $27 plus there's tax to the state, and then there's also a processing fee for ShowPass, which is the electronic ticketing program that we use. And then there's a donation that you can make for kids. Kids under 10 are free. Over 10, then we ask that you buy a ticket for them.
Looking forward to it. Anything else, Council? Very well. Hearing none, makes sense. We are ready to vote. All those in favor of Resolution 23-79, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution -79 passes. So we will move into no discussion items. So we'll slide past number 8, go into number 9, reports. So is there anyone in the audience that has anything they wish to discuss, bring up, questions or comments, anything at all? So I ask, if you do, please state your name and where you're from, and the floor is yours.
I'm Bill Wyatt. I live on 115 Balsoma Avenue. Catherine's already alluded to the reason that I'm here. There is a resident that bought a house on 272 Main Street, and there's some hodgepodge thing that looks really bad, and the entire driveway is starting to fill up. There are 5 dogs in the back, and there's a fence around it with some type of black, like tarp area that goes around it. But I just wanted to bring it up to the town council to see what what could happen. I addressed this issue with the code enforcement officer, and unfortunately, his hours of work are from 12 o'clock till 5 o'clock on Friday, and the residents of that resident do not make it home until roughly 6 p.m. So I had not heard that he had made contact with the residents, and there's been numerous complaints. And I'm not the only complaint. There are a lot of people that are stopping over there, because I live right there, and taking pictures of this. So I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention, and thank you, Catherine, for bringing that up.
So the code officer has made contact with one of the spouses, the other spouses to come in, get a proper building permit and proper instruction as to what you could build and not build, and take down, I guess thin is a good thing to call it.
In-law apartment. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience have anything they wish to speak about? Pete? Nothing? Folks? Good? Donnie? All right. Very well. I will close the audience, and I shall go to the council. And ladies first, Heather, anything you'd like to bring up?
Thank you for your support of the Cheese Festival and voting that. It's the alcohol license is the one thing that gives us all heartburn every year, trying to get all that organized. So it's nice to know that's done. And Catherine, if I can pick that up later in the week, I'll drop it off to the president to do the state part of it. Regarding the LD 2003, having reached an age that I get AARP stuff in the mail and emails all the time now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's awesome. Never had so much junk mail in my life. Vermont, there's sometimes tasteful stuff. Like Vermont just passed a new law that has a lot of these middle housing and co-housing things that this state law addresses. And they had a ton of resources in the last newsletter about creating strategies to create middle housing through all the things that you talked about, Catherine, the zoning ordinances and looking at the different items that the towns can do to kind of create space within the constraints of the community that you already have. Like how can you create more housing in there? And so I would encourage the planning board to kind of like find those types of resources and kind of look through them. And then on my way in tonight, I was very excited to see that the culvert on Crawford Road is marked out for replacement. It's like driving over a speed bump in the middle of the road every time you have to go over it. So I was really excited to see that. So thank you, Dottie. I'm glad to see it's going to be evened out there. And that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Heather. Eric, your report. All set this evening. Jason?
Catherine, we've filed for reimbursement on the general assistance that we've.
We're working on it. The staff is too busy at the counter, so I'm working on it.
Okay.
But yeah,
According
we'll
to-
file by the end of the month, which is fine.
Well, it's supposed to be filed monthly, right?
No, you can file monthly, you can file quarterly, or you can file semi-annually.
And what do we do?
We're doing semi-annual.
Okay. This over the course of the last year, they haven't received any requests from the town of Pittsfield.
Yeah, well, remember that we only had one item last year. Which
Okay.
wasn't eligible. But we're eligible for 70% now. So
Right.
we would file semi-annual.
Right. Okay. I guess we can talk about it at the finance meeting, but if we recoup 70% of the 10 grand, we've got 7 grand that we get back, so. we're not
It goes
really-
into-
And you can overdraft that account
It goes
without,
in- oh, I'm sorry.
without any kind of.
It goes into the revenue account, so I can't, it's budgeted as a revenue, so I can't technically spend it. Because we have gross budgeting, we don't have,
Right.
it's not legal for us to have the net budgeting.
But it is legal for us to overdraft that account, so
That's
we can just overdraft until the end of the year. Okay, and then I'd like to thank Donnie for cleaning up the sidewalks on Main Street. We were getting some social media photos going around, so we cleaned that up, and we appreciate that. Looks good now. Also like to thank Chief Morris, the entire police department, and all the local businesses for the community event they did down in the park. Looked awesome. I didn't have time to stop, but it looked really good, and heard it was a really good turnout. So that's another great event that they put on. And to piggyback on that, talking to the police department, they've been doing a lot of these events, and they get a lot of different equipment that they need a place to store that equipment. And I kind of thought of the reuse center, because we haven't really done much with that in the recent months, or even probably over a year now. Is that an option for them to store some of their stuff down there where it's not being utilized at this point?
We'll talk about that, as long as it could be moved out. You know, if it's temporary storage, I would think that would be fine. We'll need to double check the building for little visitors.
It was just a thought that I had
Yep.
when I drove by it and seeing it vacant, and then thinking of that situation. So if we can utilize that better, that would be great for them and everybody else. There's also a Elks golf event this weekend. If they're looking for more teams, they do a lot for the kids of the community. So if we could support that, that'd be good. If anybody likes to golf,
I'm a whole sponsor. You'll see my side.
and I think that's about it.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. Craig, let's move to you, please.
Yeah, a couple things. One, could I get a clarification on our policy, our procedure on how we handle notification of bid awards? Last week I happened to run into an individual who had been awarded a contract by the town the prior week, so we're talking 7 days later, and they still had no clue that they had won that bid. And when dealing with commodity items such as steel, that can be potentially detrimental to the town. So what's our policy? Are we supposed to notify the next day? I would think that would be a simple phone call and then an email to follow, or...
Yeah, we either send out, dependent on which approach works better for the individual, either an email with the contract in it, which is written out with their award letter, or they get a package in the mail, if that's what's preferred. A package was sent out the next day to the gentleman. I did call him, and I talked to him 2 times. I've given him a tax exempt certificate. He hasn't returned his contract as of yet, but he did say that he could start the project as soon as he ordered items.
Perfect. Yeah, he actually contacted me today and said that he didn't receive anything from the town until after I spoke with the mayor about it. So that was a full 8 days later.
So he was sent a package on the next day. He does have 2 addresses, and he did say he was going to check his
Sure.
post office box, which is what was on the bid, and that's the one I sent the package to.
So I just think, we probably should consider a courtesy phone call in the future. I think that should be something that we do. That's pretty simple. It's modern communication, and it happens immediately, and they can secure their pricing with their vendors in a timely manner. So I think that's probably something that we should consider going forward. I guess lastly, I'm going to try to end it on a good note. I just want to say, as evidenced by the request for a meeting later this evening, our time with our search committee seems to be nearing a close. And I just want to take an opportunity and say how much of a pleasure it has been to work with an extraordinarily talented group of people. Having Andy and Lindsay and Natalia to join us has been phenomenal. The input that they had, Natalia taking lead, and really just kind of setting a pretty good example of how a committee should be run, with excellent communication and just unbelievable ability to stay on top of stuff while managing an incredibly difficult personal job as well. So big thanks to, in this room, Doc and Mike, and outside, Andy, Lindsay, and Natalia for just being amazing, and for the diligence and for the care they have for this town. So thank you.
That's it. Sure, thank you very much. All set, Brett?
Yeah, all set.
All right. Doc?
Couple things. Number one, I want to thank you, Mike, for the efficiency with which you run the meeting tonight. You know, I look at the time. Not that I expect.
I only looked at it once the whole evening.
I know I expect to get out when it's still light out, but what the heck, you know? It's a good try.
I left my outside lights on just in case.
Okay, good idea. Catherine, the Route 2 project that the planning board looked at, are those going to be single-family homes?
Yes, they will be single-family homes, likely mobile homes or modulars.
Mobile homes or modular?
Modular.
Where's the lot size?
1.5 acres approximately.
Okay.
There would be 6 of them. There would be a road on one side going in that we've been told twice would not be brought forth to the town for acceptance. And then there would be 6 lots in a row.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The other question I had was, you had mentioned the code enforcement, in your report, the code enforcement officer had spoken to Mr. Dyer regarding the Somerset Ave residence. He said he will fix it up and he will not sell it. Well, he's been saying that he's going to fix it up for how many years now? And
Right.
isn't there some code to maintain a safe property on a public way that we can cite him for?
He's been cited for many things. The only resolution will be to go to court, which would be very difficult with an 80-year-old gentleman, or he sells the property to someone. He's convinced that he can fix this up himself and has proceeded to the site several times.
Well, we all know that he can't fix the property up himself,
Correct.
number one. Number two, I think that, my fear is that this person will die, okay? And I don't know if there's anything in his paperwork or whatever as to what becomes of this property at that point. Does this become, if there's nothing, does it become town property? What is the process that the town is going to have to go through to basically tear this thing down, knowing that the external siding is probably asbestos, as well, and God knows who or what is still living inside. I'm just concerned, both from a safety perspective. I mean, we had the issue with the ladders on the roof, etc., and he's gone to the drink once himself, sustaining an injury. So, can't we get, I'm not sure if there's anything else that we can do. I assume he pays his taxes.
Yes.
Can we raise the property value on it or something?
It's an extremely frustrating case when you have somebody that could endanger themselves. There's no family members now to call to get help with the situation.
Before he fell off the roof, we were taking him to court. So, can't we?
Yeah, but it's difficult for an 80-year-old to go to court. Isn't an excuse.
Not really a reason to not take him to court.
It likely will not go well at court, according to the town attorney.
Well, they were going to take him before, so nothing's changed other than it's gotten worse.
Well, I'm waiting for the house to fall into the stream and then block the stream completely. Donnie's supposed to, continue ditching, that stream and the culverts. I don't know how he's going to get in there to do anything. I don't know if that's part of his plan, but, I see that as a near impossibility, given the access that's there. And quite frankly, it's an eyesore.
The council has given direction to deal with these eyesore properties with a full extent of the law. There's been no dispensation for age or anything else like that, so that's not an excuse. It should not be an excuse, and we understand it's not gonna go well in court, it's not gonna make us look good, but we've been dealing with that, I think it's a lot more than 3 years.
The town attorney had recommended that we not proceed.
Well, the town attorney can come buy the property and improve it, because we have neighbors that are getting charging the value of the property because they're next door eyesore. I mean, the Pike's here for that very reason. So do we tell them, well, he's 80 years old, you guys deal with it? That's not gonna fly.
Is Mr.
Sorry,
Tedeschi in this week?
stepping the stuff.
Pardon?
Is this CEO in this week?
Yes.
I'll come in and talk to him on Friday.
What, on Friday?
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Doc. I'll be very brief. I know it's very surprising. I usually have several things to do, and I'd just like to reiterate what Craig had mentioned. The council did an excellent job picking these people. I mean, it's very professional. We actually have excellent candidate, which we'll be talking this evening, and they have yet to take out papers for council positions, but I'm working on them. Every one of them. So that's really all I have for this evening. With that, I will look for a motion to go into executive session.
Move we go to executive session.
Second. Moving to second. Thank you very much. We are adjourned for the regular meeting, folks. Thank you.
Does our town attorney?
Everyone should get it on seat on the meeting, so
I'll tell you, that's a thrilling part of the festival.
We left, we went to dinner around, so one time, we got back here, and one night, I took off, something about having to wait for a short while. So we peeled out, it should be on the.
So where is that?
So I switched to that went into the ditch, ran up the road, hit the flagger. Take the flagger and throw it in for him. And then it walked up the road, and then the rubber car came down to help move the car, and then a flagger,
Right. So that's what
Right down near the end, right down the lake, down there.
I'll make sure we're on, I'm trying to cross the on the
They should be on the, they did power.
So we should.
So we're bringing up this first one. Oh, 95.
How are you?
They didn't know that they weren't know this. So they
Well,
How long the process is?
A couple of weeks, it can be a couple of days.
So we can have that, can you send
Back on the track.
It's too dark now. Here we go, we're ready.
Being done at
Is that right?
Good try to do that.
Can't believe we did even. It's over in the 100. That it's not high, it's just good.
So I'll call the town attorney about
I know, we don't have the resources to work, but I understand what the attorney's saying, because, I mean, actually, I don't, I mean, that's why we go in, let's look at the what.
Gentlemen come in.
How it
I got one mine, and I got one, I got one. They can all run.
Good. Good problem there.
Yeah.
Yeah.